Okay, so in the previous video we talked about anchored VWAP, and I thought really we needed to split this video down into two videos because anchored VWAP is absolutely crucial part of our trading. VWAP is a crucial part of our trading. We use it in our algorithms for entries, and we also use it for assessing where we're at within the market. So without further ado, let's jump into the charts. So what am I going to tell you on this one? Well, basically in this video we're going to basically look at the time range bot, which includes an anchored VWAP bot, which automatically looks at, for a given time range, the highs and lows and the retracements. So we've taken the other stuff off the charts just for clarity and for just keeping these charts clean for each demo. So if you want to see any of the other stuff in action, then just basically watch one of the previous videos. Right, so we have a buy-sell dynamic bot, which basically is just a radar bot, and I'm going to show you that in action on subsequent videos. But part of that package we also have the high-low for time period, which includes the anchored VWAP, and we're just basically going to put this onto the charts. So this is the high-low bot, and we do all sorts of magic on it. Now, I do take a lot of precedence from 4 AM because that's effectively the London Open on the US markets. So you do get big moves overnight. So we're just going to set that to 4 AM. We've got automatic retracement levels, and we've also got automatic anchors on the VWAPs. For the purposes of this, we're going to automatically anchor from the low and the high, right? As in, that is purely from the low and the high of the day. Now, what I'm also going to just do here is, just so you can see where we're at in the markets, I'm actually just going to add a time range highlight. So basically, in a nutshell, the time range highlight is going to highlight the given time periods. So you can see here we're from the 4 AM. Now, what we have here is these anchored VWAPs, and obviously in the subsequent videos, the previous videos, I've actually shown you the auto-anchored VWAP to the rotations and to the swings. Now, this is a little bit more precise in what it actually does. It's purely looking at mapping the anchored VWAP from the highs and lows or specific retracements. So obviously, there's a lot of people out there that use retracements. What you tend to find is once you've gone past the 12.5 of low of day, then you know that you're going back up. So if we just look at this as an example, this is the retracement. I'm just going to add the 12.5% on there, which not a lot of people use that, so I'm giving you another top tip. Look at 12.5%. So I'm just going to add that onto there. In fact, I'm going to use this here, 12.5%. Look at that. Look at how that just respects that. So obviously, if we wanted, we could do that from that anchored VWAP automated study, which basically we've got the high-low range. If I just show you this, you've got the retracement levels. You can set these here yourself. So as an example, we can have 12.5% here. If I type it right, and it would actually help if I actually import it right as well. Sorry about that. That's my bad. Right, so you've got your 12.5%, right, which we can literally mark these down, right? So you can see what they are, where they are now, which is there. Now, if I wanted to map the VWAP from that level rather than the low, we can actually do that automatically. So from the low, we can actually set it to band 1. So then it will automatically move up, right? So you can set it to any of the bands. So you can see that it's set to the high band, right, which is not a lot of use, right? I personally set these to the low, so, and to the high. Now, what the bot does automatically for you is basically, you can see this bot here at the moment, the anchored VWAP is coming down, right? And I'm just going to make the anchored VWAP really bright and strong so you can actually see it. Let's just go to it. So the anchored VWAP low, where are you? Where are you? Would help if I can find it. Right, here we go. Anchored VWAP low is there. Right. I'm going to make that really big. Oh my god, look at how big it is. Well, that's what we want to show you. Right, so we're just going to have it really bright. Now, look, dark green means we don't want to be interested in buying. Right, potentially there we can scalp on a rotation, but we're not interested in that. And we're going to come onto the range detection bot, right, in the next video to show you how we detect when we're in a range and how we start out a trade. It's because at the end of the day, that's really, really important. Every trade starts as a scalp. So, but jumping back to this, you can see there it goes in green, and obviously you can see our previous signals from there. But you can see there basically it also goes in orange. So this orange band here is the best time to potentially buy, right? Now, again, we can optimize that. So the bots can just be set so when they go on screen, you can automatically set what we want them to do. So in this instance, because this is an anchored VWAP, but with an automatic buy and sell mode. So pretty much it does it for you. And if I change this to Apple as an example, right, and I'm just going to show you that as an example in action, right, as a bonus. So this works on anything. What am I doing? New intraday chart. Right, let's look for Apple. Right, there we go, Apple there. Right, so we've got this set to that. Right, set to a 1 minute chart. Right, again, I'm going to just bring that bot onto there. I'm not going to use anything else. Right, this is how powerful this bot is. Right, I'm going to set it to 4 AM because that's tends to be when the symbols move, i.e., the individual stocks. Right, I'm just going to stick it on. So let's see what it did. Right, on. I'm just going to put the day on so you can see it. Day of week. If anyone knows how to default this permanently to yes, let me know, because I have not found a setting to do that, and it does my nutting every time I have to change it. Right, you see that? Goes into buy mode, boom. There we go. Right, this mode here is not in sell mode, right? We want to see it in sell mode. When it goes to blue, it's in sell mode. Now, it obviously goes in there a little bit late, so it depends on your settings that you've got, but you can see there, when it goes into sell mode, it goes pretty much downhill from there on. So, and if you look, it's not in orange. Orange is depicted as the best mode for buying on this. But just as an example, if you wanted, and we're just going to jump to another one, if you trade BTC, which obviously is Bitcoin, we'll just have a quick look at that on the futures. Look for Bitcoin. Where is Mr. Bitcoin? There we go. Right. Let's go for the December contract. Quickly download that. This time we're going to pick a 5-minute time frame. Let's see what it brings you automatically. Right. It's a little bit thinly traded, Zach, so we've got some gaps on that. But you can see here, we go into buy mode there, and then boom, we go up. Right, we're not in buy mode here. You can see that. We're in dark green. We're in sell mode, in fact. So from there, it just tanks. And we can optimize these. So these anchored VWAPs are priceless on any given market. I'm just going to show you Nvidia as well, because that is a stock favorite of ours. So let's just look at it. This is an example. It's going to be on a longer time frame chart. We're going to look at a 30-minute time frame chart. What does it do? Right, well, we come down, right, and let's have a look. In fact, it's loading up on this server. It's not been on. We're on the 31st of October here. But we can actually see it actually drawing as we go. So we're in sell mode there. Right. And obviously it goes down. We then go into buy mode there. And it goes up. So these are all about continuation trades, because what you really want to do, you won't want to be buying there because look, you're at the top of the range, and this is why you've got the range drawn up here. You really want to come down, retest, and then go. Right, that's a really good way of trading anchored VWAP, especially in this environment where we automatically assess. And whilst that's loading, I'm just going to show you a few settings on here that you can change. So you can change the retracement levels. You can change when the time periods that you're using. So you could just use RTH as an example, right? You can change the band levels, right? So you can also basically change anchored VWAPs, which we spoke about. You also have time-based VWAPs. Now, I have a second time VWAP that I set from Globrix, right? Because Globrix is definitely highly respected. Now, so we're going to just quickly look at that one just to show you. So if we look at this, I don't know whether it's highlighted on our screen, but we are actually going to put this on. Right, so the time one and time two is ignored. So I'm just going to bring this on, right, and I'm going to bring it on as a line. Now, for reference, I'm just going to make it big, just so we can see it, and we're going to do yellow. Right. So this is the Globrix from the previous day, right? See how that is constantly respected. Now coming back onto this, which obviously this is yesterday, with anchored VWAP goes green, and then literally you can buy off the bounce. So it's anchored it to the low, and then it's come up and then come back down and respected anchored VWAP. So this is why we do believe in anchored VWAP. It is an amazing tool, right? So, and although Brian Shannon didn't invent it, he has to be credited for all the work that he's done, and he's an amazing guy. He's Brian Shannon, and he's wrote a book on anchored VWAP, which I believe I do have hanging around. I do have it. In fact, one of them. Yes. Right. So there's multiple time frame analysis. I'm just gonna bring this across. Right, just 2 seconds, because I've got my Stream Deck set to. Right. So this is one of his books. He also has anchored VWAP. My son's actually got the other book that he's reading, but that is a really good book to read. That I do recommend. So, going back to this, right, that's Nvidia, and that's on a high time frame. I'll just show you it on a small time frame so you can get the gist. Basically, this works on any time frame. So on your 1 minute time frame, look at your 24-hour map from Globrix. Now let's just quickly compare that to the current day VWAP, which pretty much everyone uses. And I'll tell you what I'm actually just going to do before I do that. I'm just going to maximise this so we can see it clean. Right. So we're covering quite a few things here, but you can see we have extensive systems to do what we want to do. Right. Okay, so let's mark this one, and we'll make it big just for the sake of making it big so that you can see it. We'll mark this in pink. Look at the difference on the respecting of anchored VWAP from the day start, basically. Right. I personally find the 24-hour more reliable, and that's from the previous day. Right. So, and obviously I'll just bring it back to the indexes, because we do actually just trade the indexes. That's our key thing we do. We're masters of Qs and SPY and the Dow. We love trading the indexes. That's what we do. But if you look at this, and I'm just going to bring this down to a 5 minute time frame just from my point of view, being able to see it, right? This 24-hour VWAP is just respected better. But guess what? The anchored VWAPs are even better, because the anchored VWAP is there, comes down, tests it, and then, now this may be deceptive, but that's more 1.5 points on the Qs, right, which is a decent amount. And if we actually look on the NQ, right, which is again what we also trade on the futures, right, and I'll just bring this up to show you, right, NQ main index, right, look at the anchored VWAPs in comparison. So 24-hour in this instance is it's not that useful on that day, but obviously it is on some days. These don't always work. It's a good point to note, right? That is your time-based one, reset at the beginning. And I'm just going to check those settings to tell you what they're set to. That one's set to 8:30, so it's not actually set to open. It's actually set to it. I use that one set to 8:30, and I'll tell you why I use that. It's set to the news, so I set that to news, and then I set the other one to 4 o'clock. Obviously, you can actually just bring in the standard one, right? And I'll just bring that in just for reference, so you can see volume weighted average price. This is your standard one, right? So that's your standard one there. Right, now I'm just going to take that off. I'm going to come back to what I was talking about, which is the anchored VWAPs. So I'm going to take the time ones off. Good for reference, but I prefer the anchored VWAPs. So to take them off, I'm just going to set it to ignore. So this is the NQ. And this is yesterday, right? And this is the anchored VWAP low, and this is the high and low of the day. So that's the high there, and that's the low. See how this anchored VWAP gets constantly retested. So that's the low anchored VWAP. Now, obviously, and just for reference, I'm actually going to make these dashes into a stronger line so you can see this, because I'm going to show you. And the reason I'm going to show you this is from a point of view of, so that you can actually just see this a little bit clearer, right? So this is anchored VWAP high. Right, I believe, have I got the right one there? I don't think I have actually. In fact, I'm just going to double check. We'll soon find out. Yes, I have. Right, okay, so that, and I'm just going to make it a line. Right. You can see there when it starts going down, it goes into red. So it's dark red when it's not going down. And then literally this gets retested. And I'm going to do the same for the other one. Right. I'm going to change it to line and just make it big. Just for purposes of this. Right, that goes green, and when it's there, it comes down to there, right? And you can see there it gets tested, and then it doesn't really get tested again. Now, we are trending up there. You can quite clearly see we're trending up. Now, we have deviations on these, and I'm just going to show you this. So you can see these in action. So, on the low, we have that's the low, and then we have low top band. I'm just going to put it in grey so you can see it. Now you can set these deviations over here, right? So you can see the deviations there. But you can see how this anchored VWAP low is then tested 2 deviations, and obviously you can have these bands, and then you could use this in the bot tested there, and then boom, you've got a good trade. I mean, if you look at that from a point of view of a trade, that's a decent amount of points that we've gone up. We've gone up 134 points on the NQ. And then obviously you can see there that you could potentially be risking off this support here, stroke resistance. So if you actually look left, always look left when you're looking at your support. Right, you can be seeing that there. Right, that's your band, and you can see we come into that zone, and it gets tested, and then it's off to the races. So this is what I wanted to show you in this video. This is the time range bot with the anchored VWAPs, and time and again, pardon the pun, the anchored VWAP does get tested.